had a really good friend that in high school, she had a kind of a rough time, you know, got into the wrong crowd. And we were really good friends, and drugs just overtook her life, you know, and we used to hang out, just me and her. We'd go out to dinner, you know, everything, and I never hung out with those people, but I knew in the back of my head that there was something wrong. And after high school, she kept going downhill. She kept having the signs under her eyes. She kept, you know, getting real tired. She'd stay out real late. She dropped out of college, and I really think by the end of it, she overdosed on the pills to get herself away from the situation that she was in. She decided that there was no way for her to live without them, so she decided not to live at all. And I think that was one of the hardest things to look at, is the fact that, you know, she's never going to get married. She's never going to, you know, be able to walk down the aisle with her dad. Her dad's, you know, not going to have her baby anymore. Her mother is not going to have her little girl. And it's hard to look at it and say, you know, there's so much that was inspiring with her that she could have done with her life. She was gorgeous. She could have modeled. She could have done so much. And just the fact that drugs completely overtook her life and made it to the point where she didn't want to live because she couldn't live without them. I think that's what made it even harder on everybody else, including her. You know, and I've never done a drug in my life. I've never, you know, thought about doing any kind of drugs. And I am affected by drugs because of a friend that does it. And I know her parents are affected by it because they lost their baby. They lost their little girl because of drugs. And it's hard to sit back and look and say that only people that do drugs are affected. It really affects everybody around them. You know, it affects their mood, it affects their personality, and it just affects them as a person. And it's hard to sit back and watch them go through that and say, there's nothing I can do, because if I try and say anything, they're going to get upset. And so it's really difficult to watch somebody have to go through that. And you can say, I don't think that's a good idea, but they're like, no, I'm fine, don't worry about me. And it's kind of like watching, you know, somebody step off a curb and get hit by a car. It's horrible, and you want to stop them, but it's almost hard to run across the road and not get hit yourself. I first realized she was using drugs when she was hanging out with a crowd that I knew were using drugs. And she wouldn't come out and say it, she never would. And by the end of her senior year, she finally started admitting, yeah, I've been popping pills, I've been smoking marijuana, I've been, you know, and I mean, it went from marijuana to cocaine to ecstasy and to pills, and it's just, it hurt to sit there and watch her do it, but it also hurt to know that I couldn't do anything to stop it, because she had gone so far downhill so quick that it was hard to sit there and say, well, you can still get out. And everybody can still get out. I mean, there's hope for everybody, but it's hard to hear it from your friend who's your peer, and they just, you know, she would tell me, you know, she would get into arguments with me and be like, well, you just think you're better than me because you don't do this. And I'm like, no, I don't think that. You know, it's hard to watch your friend kill their lives away and kill what they could do. I think her parents realized she was doing drugs, and I think she kind of led them to believe that she was quitting. They were very devastated when she passed away. They were very, very devastated. I think that they had the impression that she was quitting, that she was, you know, getting help and everything like that. And they kind of let it be, and then, you know, out of the blue, she passes away, and they don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to do, and it's kind of hard to say that they knew she was doing drugs, but I think they thought she was getting help. An only suggestion that I could give is, you know, based on what great parenting skills my parents have. You know, my parents all through high school knew exactly where I was going, who I was with. You know, they made sure of it. And just, I mean, my parents wouldn't let me go out unless they met the person themselves. They were very strict about that. And I mean, it's to the point where people almost have to be really strict on their kids and make sure that they're hanging out with the right people, that they're coming home at night, and, you know, don't let them be like, oh, I'm going to spend the night with a friend. And it's just kind of like, well, what friend? Who are you going to your house? Where do they live? And I mean, that's what I got all through high school. And, you know, I think that's what really helped me to choose my friends easier, because I'm like, well, my mom's not going to let me hang out with her. My dad's going to say no to hanging out with them. And so it was just kind of like, you can only hang out with certain people, and then you kind of get to the feel of, this person's really good, you know, it's going to be okay. So I mean, it's just a matter of who your kids are hanging out with, and I think that peer pressure has a lot to do with it. Peer pressure, I really honestly think that most people that start doing drugs and that get into it is because your friends go, oh, you should try this, oh, you should do this. And a lot of people are like, oh, I would never peer pressure you into anything. It's peer pressure just being around it. It's peer pressure to go to a party and see everybody else smoking marijuana, and you feel like you kind of have to. And so nobody even has to say anything to you to feel like, well, they're all doing it, I guess I should. I guess I have to. And it's just, it's almost like a silent, you're uncool if you don't do this. Because everybody else is doing it, why aren't you? And I've left my friends' houses. I've left people's houses because, you know, they were like, well, we're going to go do this. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't want that. And it's just a matter of standing up and saying, I don't care if I don't look cool to you. I don't care if you think that I'm a nerd because I don't do this. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to say, this is what's best for me. And this is what is best for my life.